Hello everyone, it's me and Clayton. I just finished watching episode 9 of Shogun. So, as Yabushige and Blackthorn both head into Ishido's palace, it seems that every lord and lady that Ishido and the Council of Regents has gathered there are basically hostages at the moment, and Mariko is trying to break them out. But most of Mariko's soldiers end up getting killed by Ishido's own guards, and even when Mariko attempts to fight them on her own, it's impossible to get past all of them. So she decides to end her own life as recompense for her actions. But Ishido decides to basically give her a permit to leave right when she's about to end her own life when Blackthorn is going to assist her in doing so. This is, by the way, after Mariko has a conversation with Ochiba no Kata and the heir. And it's interesting to note that they imply a lot with a lot of these scenes without showing you too much. You still get the connection between Ochiba and Mariko, but they don't feel the need to show you too many scenes that you haven't already seen in previous episodes. On top of that, there is an opening scene with Mariko and Father Martin that I appreciate that also shows how she got her Christian faith. It's basically because she had nothing else to hold on to after the death of her father, Akechi Jinsai. And I appreciate that it's one of the reasons that people found faith in those times to begin with. Because they had nothing else to hold on to, and it was something that gave them hope, even if it's something they initially didn't understand. On top of that, Yabushige basically went for a plan that I didn't think he was going to go for at first. He was going to surrender to the council to serve them as opposed to dying alongside Toranaga. So, my guess is that it was just an attempt to save his life and the lives of others, even if it meant working alongside a man who has proven himself to be a ruthless overlord. But, of course, there's a twist in the episode as Shinobi end up attacking the castle, and that means that several of the guests are under attack. Mariko gets to make one last stand, and we see that the Shinobi have basically been handled in a way that you'd expect for these guys. They're extremely stealthy, they happen to take their opponents out with them barely even being spotted, and they're all about sneak attacks, which you'd expect for the ninja of this show to be able to do. In fact, Shinobi is the name for ninja when it comes down to it. I appreciate that both Kiyama and Ono of the Council of Regents are basically feeling just as trapped as the other lords and ladies. Like, Ishido technically is leading them on the council, but he really just wants all the power for himself. You can see not only how that makes Ishido a very devious antagonist, but also how even people who are close to him, like his own councilmen, are not safe from his own power-hungry needs. And on top of that, even though Toranaga doesn't appear in this episode at all, it does set things up for a pretty explosive finale next week, especially considering that Anna Sawai probably gives the best performance that she's had in this show for its whole runtime. I mean, granted, she's been excellent in the show ever since the beginning, but I think this is her best episode to date. Which makes sense, as this is basically her last stand before we get to the big finale with all the other main characters. So Shogun has proven to be a rather excellent adaptation of a great novel, and maybe these people should handle some of James Clavell's other works after this is finished. Because let's just say that Shogun isn't the only amazing work that this author has done. But I'm interested in seeing how they wrap things up. See you next time.